A couple years ago, it would have been tough to imagine that I would ever enjoy a fishing game. The entire concept felt so outright on my lane that I never would have ever considered trying one. I've seen fishing and hunting games lurking the periphery of the gaming sphere for years and years, but I always wondered who was playing them. Who would want to fish when they could be a spaceship, or a flying robots, or a starking criminal empire? Who would you want to just stand there in a quiet virtual space waiting for fish to maybe never bite? But that's when it is. That is now. I can pinpoint the exact moment when I started thinking about the fishing games and the hunting games. And then was quiet day over Christmas break last year when I decided to download the Hunter. Call of the Wild on whim. I was expecting much, but I was completely shocked at how beautiful the game was. More than, I was delighted by how much the Hunter felt like an actual game. There was a structure here. The missions. Things to go and see. Things to do and see. I was just wandering around in the woods. So when the Call of Wild, the angle arrived, I was fully down to check it out. I was fascinated at the idea and the open world fishing game, but still doubt that it could work. What could possibly be appealing about roaming an open wilderness, stopping on occasion to fish? But again, that was then and this is now. And now I'm wondering how any fish game that isn't open world could possibly appear to me after I had such a rich experience. I will be judging all future fishing experience all against Call of the Wild The Anger. The Anger starts well, introducing the player the basics concept of the game through a series of short quests and tutorials. In the starting area, players learn how to cast, how to float work, how to summon and drive carts and boats, and how to buy new better gear. The game kind of takes the knees off and says go play. A nearby announcing boards offers some starting quests for those they want pursue them, but I also just want to go tearing off into the Golden Range Reserve Park in Egypt to see what you can see. You are totally free to do so. In this player's best interest to immediately start exploring the world. Finding new areas and fast travel points rewards the player with a cash, which can be upgraded for a quick gear update. You also starting roll a real are suitable for the tutorial area, but won't be terrible success with the largest fish you come encounter right outside of the starting area. After getting a bit of cash, I came back to initial outpost and started talking on the more advanced quests and tutorials with my mid-range rod and reel. This was I learned there was far more to loading big fish than simply plopping on my hook in the water and pressing a button to reel it in. The After uses a few different mechanics to simulate the act of fishing, the most important in management of your reel tension. With the D-pad on your controller, you can quickly adjust any percentage of your given reel height. Thundering things up will keep a fish from talking too much line, but if you go too tight, you risk snapping your line and losing a bit catch. Conversely, if you keep things overly loose, the fish will be think poo by the time he tries out enough to feel the reel. It's great mechanics which combined with the act of pumping your rod really makes it feel like you're getting to battle to a land fish. Of course not that fish behave the same. Smaller throw just swim obediently over the land and allow you to hold them out, but hook a big catfish on a large mound base and you could be fighting them for 10 minutes. Call of the Wild, the angle absolutely works as an open world game. Sure, a lot of activities are super simple, most existing and the tool to get pushed outward to explore the gigantic park in which the game takes place. A lot of quests revolve around things like go and find this place and then catch a fish there, but in the context of this game, this is exactly what the player needs. A little push in the right direction to get acquainted with the things. Before long, I was taking out my wild on my own, searching for little bodies of water I could attempt to plunder. Folks that worry that a fishy game might be boring should think again. Sure, there were times when the things went quiet on me and I couldn't get a bite to save my life. But the majority of my time I've been because I was doing something wrong. Doing a bit of research and switching off the bait of tackle would usually to go trick and then back into the action. Or would I simply pivot on a new location? I was really at the strength shield in the angle. I was never ever bored by. The game is littered by the other distractions that keep player busy. Outside of exploring the climbing fire towers, the park warden has the keep player eye for various foliage and bugs that could anger the balance of the park's wildlife. Most of these missions just of trimming gold trees and plants, but they are a nice enough distraction while wandering the park. Speaking of the warden, dude is a total character. His family has been taking care of Gold Ridge Reserve for a generation, as he very willing to let you tell about it. The way the guy talks is hysterical. I was kind of ignoring him at first, but then he said something about natures and customary bags that caught my attention. After that I found myself turning to listen his caller sides whenever he piped out on the radio. The park itself is visual wonder. Really there is no reason for a fishing game to look at the ones. The park is full of options of interest to explore, old silver mines, water mills, and other historical structures to the landscape. But developer exposing Wood's ability to accurately recreate nature itself that really impressed. Standing on the ridge and looking at the trees below blowing gently in the wind, while the sounds of crickets and mosquitoes buzz around you is a total vibe. There is a multiplayer aspect of the Call of the Wild that add extra layer on the entertainment. You can also solo if you want, but if you allow it, the game will plop you into a game instance golden bridge racer with a few players. You can elect to go to fishing with your friends and pile a jeep to go off in the wild, but it's equally fun to team up with the strangers in the game. I hop into one of the guys' boats and leaving the documents and the dock on afternoon. We spent an huge hour together fishing the middle of the lake. It was pleasant and very constant with so many gaming interactions people have online these days. So, fishing game, open world adventure, gorgeous nature simulator. Whenever I buy you my set to Call of the Wild the angle, it succeed at meeting your criteria. Quite bit never boring, graphically beautiful and rich and entertaining fishing mechanics. Those Angle is one of the rare games that creates a class of its own. You have never played the game like this, and it's like luckily rare that you have played one of the good accomplished what set out you. Highly recommend it, even for those who might not looking very like the fishing games, I guess. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one, bye.